wow, look at these two saucy stories, man. The first one is Giant Bright Kara. It's Jim Bricker, and I'm the author of the story, you dingus. And look at this other story. It's called Firestone, man.
It's Thirst, and I'm the author of the story, you burnt chicken nugget.
I wonder what these two stories are about, man.
Get out of here.
Oof.
Like I said before, I'm the author of this story, Thirst. A story about a teenage girl, Natalia, who lives in Southeast Africa, who has to travel miles 2 times every day just to get water for her family, and misses out on an education and is lucky to get 1 or 2 days of school in a week. But later in the story, a corporation called Charity Water heard about this and decided to put a well in Natalia's village. Now Natalia can go to school and is now the president of the new water committee.
Like I said before as well, I'm the author of the story, The Amazing Powers of Jen Bricker. This story is about a girl who was born without legs, and her name was Jen Bricker. At a young age, Jen's parents had abandoned her, thinking that she was too much trouble to care for. Then her adoptive parents came along. Their names were Gerald and Sharon Bricker. Gerald and Sharon had always supported Jen, and Jen always had a good attitude. Now, Jen Bricker is a professional
acrobat.
Our stories have many similarities, my dude. For example, how both of our stories have characters who keep a positive attitude and don't complain.
Yeah, you're right. There are also some differences between our stories, too. One difference is the two characters have different problems in their life, my dude. The way that these characters overcome their problems is different as well.
Yeah, very true, but both characters have to overcome a problem, which is very similar.
Some of the character traits that describe both of these characters are... Like I was going to say, some of the character traits that describe both of the characters are consistent, because both of the characters kept going and never gave up.
And strong, because they both stood their ground and never fell down.
Story. The same takes place in Illinois.
And in my story, it takes place in Southeast Africa. And this is a very important aspect of my story, because in this place, it is hard to retrieve water, which is the main conflict in the story.
I wonder what the plot of these texts are.
Now, let's move on to the plots of the story.
The plot of my story is, you know what? Instead of describing it, I'll show it to you instead.
Oh, looks delicious.
No, I can't have it. Like I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted, I have a pretty good plot for my story. First, Jen Bricker is born without legs and her parents abandon her. And for the rising action, Gerald and Sharon actually adopt her, and she starts living her life and also learns how to walk with her arms. At the climax, Jen finds out that her idol, Dominique Moceanu, is her biological sister. Jen then meets Dominique and gets settled in with her family at the following action, and for the resolution, Jen becomes a professional acrobat. That's a very beautiful plot right there.
Idea. I'll show mine as well.
Ooh, looks so delicious, man. No, you cannot.
I wonder how the authors organize these texts. Like I was going to say, the way the authors organize the texts are very similar. Yeah, like how the authors show a problem in the beginning of the story and then show how the characters in the story overcome the problem. The common theme of our text is to never complain, because the text says, technically, Jen has a disability, which is defined as a physical or mental condition that it limits a person to activities. But Jen says she's fortunate. Growing up, she felt like she could do anything she put her mind to. Her saying that she's fortunate, even though she has a disability, is showing that she wouldn't complain about the disability, because she's saying that she's fortunate. And in my text, it states that is about the same way as 3 backpack stuff with books. Imagine looking around, there's 3 backpacks for 1 mile. Now imagine doing it twice a day, every day, without complaint. An example of what Natalia has to go through every day. It states that you have to do this without complaint, which shows that Natalia did this without complaint.